Good evening, Capsuleers. I'm sorry it's been a little bit late, but I had some structural damage to my left hand, so my control button pressing ability has been severely compromised. I'm back to almost healthy. If you hear some noise in the background, it's because I am 3D printing an ear trumpet for one of my friends from the pub quiz team who was writing the answers down the other day and couldn't hear an goddamn thing we were telling him. So I thought a massive ear trumpet would be a useful thing. So back to Eve. Lowgun is doing amazingly well, like next level amazingly well. He has currently 422 million ISK, so we're well over 40% of the way to our billion target. And his net worth is slightly insane. It's over $500 million, his net worth. I was looking at this the other day, just on a little site. Oh, right, just got to hover. So it adds the wallet balance plus the combined assets value and the Plex estimated value, which I guess is the value if I decided to sell the character, which seems a little bit nebulous and weird, but hey, we love that. So I thought we would try running a handful of security level 2 missions in the Dragoon. I was running some of these the other day and I managed to lose a few drones, but I got a big pile of loot. It's kind of fun, so I'm probably going to have to hunt around and see if I can get some drones. So yeah, let's see if we can make some ISK. Currently, I think it's a toss-up between the deep flow rifts and the exploration. I could remember that word this time. But I managed on one of the security level 2 missions to get about 20 million's worth of loot. So yeah, if we maybe run 3 or 4 of these and see how much ISK that makes us, and then we can have a conversation about that. Come on, Zessia. There we are. So I have to recover some Galente light marines. Then I need to drop them off at this station here. Yeah, it sounds like there's a few Galente ships to blow up, maybe? Or some hostiles. Investigate the asteroid field and destroy any hostiles you meet there. Wait for a few minutes if no enemies have shown up when you get there. Okay. And I've got to skip across to the next system as well. It's fine. If there's a lot of weird grinding and pumping and bizarre noises going on in the background, the 3D printer has just suddenly got a little bit louder. Gosh, he's not very well. Acton. And I'm on the wine and I'm on the antibiotics, so it's possible I could make even less sense than normal tonight, so apologies in advance. Sorry, not sorry, etc. Cheers. I'll delete the slurping and sucking drink noises that go on. Can we just take a moment to appreciate how great the Dragoon looks in the biosecurity skin? I know I said once that I'm not a big fan of the skins, but I love that mid-blue and black combination. Mid-blue? Apparently dudes can't see colours as well as women, so I might have to get a grown-up to look at that for me. Okay, I'm just going to pop into one of these player-owned stations and just repair up before I warp to the location. I've got the mobile tractor unit to help with scooping up the loot. I've got drones. I could definitely do with some extras. Got some drones in this system. In there, so that's no use. I've noticed that while I'm thinking I talk quietly, which isn't much good for the video making. Now the 3D printer's really making some noise, so let's just call it background noise. Let's get that drone repaired for nothing. So repair quote at all. Excellent. Anybody is selling some drones. Might have to hunt that down in a minute. We are very dependent on the drones because we can't use any ship-mounted weapons. That would have probably been a better name for the challenge rather than no guns, no missiles, no lasers. So we are in a 0.6 system as well, so I imagine that the rats are going to be reasonably hard hitting. Oh, some weird rocks. Look on the mining tab. Nothing worth getting. That's fine. Let us launch the drones. Let's launch the mobile tractor unit. What I'll do is I'll orbit the mobile tractor unit at 15k. Bad boys are going to warp in at any minute. I was just going to see if anybody's selling any drones locally, even though I've got hundreds of them. Acolyte. Acolyte 1. New market details. Let's have. Okay, I can do it cheaper than that, so we won't buy those. Oh, here we go. Here's the bad boys. Oh, I'm being grappled. Being webbed. That's why I suddenly slowed down. Come on, drones, do what you gotta do. He's webbing me. And Federation Navy Delta 2 support frigate. Federation Delta... Oh, I'm gonna kill that one now. Hopefully then we'll go back up to proper speed. Yep. Right. Taking a little bit of damage there, but nothing too dramatic. There we go. We're back up to full power. Now the rats are landing much smaller hits on me. What's that ship? Didn't recognise that one at all. It's not an Ares. Range. Galente. Interceptor. Not an Ares. Nemesis. There you go. Oh, that's a saucy looking bad boy. Okay. Gonna orbit the... They're flying away from me. Gosh, come back. Let's just be friends. It's a miner. Mining in a probe. Gosh, that doesn't make any sense. Benches are so cheap. Why don't you mine with those? So can you see while I'm out here popping the rats, the MTU is doing its job and it's dragging all of the wrecks towards it, and it's scooping up all the loot as well. I wonder if this mission predates the invention of the venture. Possibly. That kind of makes sense. I think when I started in Eve, the venture had just come out. But I might be imagining that. Okay, so we have got some more ships having warped in. So the calculation for how profitable a security mission is would be the combination of the bounties paid out for the rats and the payment for running the mission plus any loot that drops. So, goodness sakes. Warping in over such a wide area. Not really moving in. Sometimes you'll get large collidable structures which are worth destroying, like the cargo rig is worth destroying because that usually drops a little bit of loot. So I think my range is 40-something kilometers away, so these guys are in range again. I just took on my main account with its 2 alts and my Orca booster account and its 2 alts, and I just scooped up a lot of planetary industry products. Well, that Acolyte's taking a little bit of damage. And I haven't emptied them for about a week, so I took about sort of just over 500 million ISKs worth of planetary industry stuff. And that's mainly producing tier 2 products and a little bit of tier 3 products. So yeah, that's that, and buying and selling stuff is how my main makes his ISK. Is that asteroid mining post? Yeah. Up, I don't think. Oh, there's a cargo container there, which I suspect is our Galente Marines. So I'm going to pile back to the can. Before I might just dock up and just repair that little bit of damage as well. Until I get some more drones. I suspect that most of this loot is going to be Galente tags, but 1 or 2 of the higher ones of those make some decent ISK as well, which is all positive. Okay, so we are in towards the MTU. Depending on how well these couple of missions go, I might fast forward past them. I also might run a couple of missions. I usually hit the refuge and the hideaway and the drone missions just because they drop decent salvage loot. On my main, I always used to run the Sancha refuge missions because occasionally you would get an escalation. What an escalation is a mission that you get, I think it's once every 10 to 20 sites that you run, and typically there's a chance that one of the loot drops will be like a couple of 100 million ISKs worth. So yeah, escalations are quite good. If we ever get one of those, I'm hoping to video it. Okay, so we are sort of in position. Let's lock up a couple of these. Oh, tracks. My dodgy control key pressing finger is still swollen to the size of King Charles III's massive sausage fingers. No disrespect, please don't throw me in the tower. Okay. Let's see, so... Oh, there you go, Hobgoblin, that'll do. That'll go in the drone bay. 4 Galente mining lasers. Oh, no. I got a feeling they're quite decent. Or am I hallucinating? Variations. Let's run the compare tool. Okay, so if we compare it to... So the scope, I think we're running scope mining laser, Galente miner ones. Those are the ones that we're running. The ore miners are the top tier. Oh, I don't know what a single diode. That's... Yeah, okay, that's not very good. So, if we're comparing the Gaussian scoped mining laser, just move that out of the way. I'm trying to multitask, it never works especially well. So we are running the scope mining laser. There's 0% chance of residue. That's good. Okay. So the Galente mining laser uses slightly less CPU, has a shorter range, and the same power grid usage. Okay, that doesn't make much sense. Uses a lot less energy to activate. Okay, yeah, I don't know if I'm feeling that. I think, wow, look at the cost of the ore miners. Wow. That is insane. Okay. Don't think I'm going to get that excited over the Galente mining lasers. So we have scooped up. Got a couple more things to go. One of which is going to be the mission objective. And we've scooped up nearly 300,000 ISK. It's really odd. Those Galente mining lasers, they show up as Meta 8, which suggests they're really, really good. I'll stick to my... Excuse me, I was comparing the Gaussians rather than the particle bores, which I think they have a lower energy cost, but a shorter range than the Gaussians. Let's see what we have. Oh gosh, yeah, we have some decent... Okay, so we have salvaged just over 750,000 ISK. And we've got one more wreck to go when the MTU drags it in. Can you see from the tractor unit to the wreck being dragged in? And you can also see that the range to the wreck is decreasing, showing that it's being dragged in. So yeah, that's... Oh yeah, there we are. That's the Galente Light Marines. That's the mission objective. Still very confused about those mining lasers. So the only real advantage is the activation cost, which doesn't feel like a huge advantage. But hey, they'll go in the pot along with the Federation Navy tags. So it looks like we've got a lot of stuff in the hold, but the MTU is worth 10 million, so 8 million. Oh, 9 million. There we are. So we've scooped up about 1 million's worth of loot. Okay, drones in the bay. Let's dock up and transfer that one. Cheers, everybody. We'll transfer that hobgoblin into our drone bay. Each drone we get is obviously a little bit more of a cushion. Means we can lose more. Free drones are the best drones. Let's have a look at how our skills are doing. So we've still got 400,000 skill points unallocated. Our queue has got 28 days in it, so even if I take a day or two off, which is unlikely, I'm probably going to be back tomorrow. Maybe we'll try running the distribution missions tomorrow and see if that makes us any decent ISK. Let's close that down. Let's run a repair. And let us throw in drone. Our drone bay. Brilliant. Okay. So yeah, remember that if you dock in a player-owned station, you can get repairs done to your hull, your armor, and your contents, all for free, generally. Let's go back and finish up this mission. Are we going to fly through the station? Yes, we are. I always like to think about somebody sat down eating their dinner and having a spaceship warp through them. I love the Dragoon. The Dragoon has a Tech 2 brother called a Pontifex, I think, which has good bonuses to the neutralizers and Nosferatus. Yeah, now that I've said that, I'm instantly doubting myself. Pontifex means bridge builder. There's your useful fact for the day. Oh, that's a pub quiz question right there. Pontifex. Command destroyer Pontifex. There we are. Oh, perhaps I dreamt about the bonuses to the neutralizers. Command burst, micro warp drive, defender launcher, command burst. Oh, okay. I was wrong. If I had any skills or sense, I would edit the wrong comments out of the commentary, but hey. Okay, Zessia. Could be Zesha. Complete mission. Oh yes, and I had to earn some loyalty points for the day's daily mission. Shall we get another one? Request mission. Illegal activity 2 of 3. Something came up while you were off on your reconnaissance mission. A group of slave traders traveling through Ullara stumbled upon a strange anomaly that caught their attention. It's a cloud of gas that somehow acts as a shield against long-range scanners, which is probably why our surveillance forces haven't detected it yet. Blah, 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 blah. Investigate. There we go. Okay, let us go have a little look at this. Set the destination. Was it Ullara? Oh, no, it's in system. Oh, this is Ullara. Oh, the wine is particularly good tonight. Oh, just for a second, I thought I'd forgotten to scoop up the mobile tractor unit as well. We are pretty much half full, so I'm going to have to empty out the hold when we get back as well. Okay, so there is a lot of bad guys. Coming transmission. And there is an acceleration gate there as well. So let us... Is there not an acceleration gate on... Okay, let's drop the mobile tractor unit. It at 10k. Let's give it some juice. Oh, they're too far away so far. These yellow boxes mean that the rats are targeting me, which I also hope means that they are heading this way. Otherwise, I might have to scoop up the mobile tractor unit and head their way a little bit. Yep, they're not moving this way. Let's scoop up the MTU. They are slightly moving. Oh no, they are slightly moving in. I was a bit excitable. Let's orbit them for a bit. How's the money doing? 422, and the corporation wallet has 3 million. Okay. So yeah, we are doing pretty well. Each of the drone types have different advantages and disadvantages, and each of the rats have particular damage that they're more vulnerable to. And there is a way if I can find it, I'll put it up in the comments. There is a table that shows you which rats are most vulnerable to which damage and which drones apply that damage. I just figure if you've got a variety of level 1 drones, you're inflicting a variety of damage. We're in high sec, so it's not going to be super critical. So perhaps that's the acceleration gate is... Oh no, there is an acceleration gate. Let's see what the information is there. This acceleration gate has been locked down and is not usable by the general public. Okay. I suspect that's what I have to report back to the agent. I'm going to minimize the probe scanner just while we're running these couple of missions. I'll put a picture up of the ear trumpet if the printer finishes making it in time. Remember, when you're running these missions, never to be just parked. You need to be moving constantly. And ideally, you need to be moving what the serious experts call transversely, which means if you're moving across the direction that the rats are coming towards you, that minimizes the amount of damage that you take. And you can see that we're pretty much taking no damage here. We're still on 100% shield. So our drones are really good at delivering damage at a distance away. That was interesting. There was a couple of comments there that the warriors weren't doing any damage. Let's see if we can read that again. Okay, so everything seems to be doing damage. Can you see the little symbols? So where it says the amount of damage that's being inflicted, it also gives a little symbol that shows the type of damage that's being inflicted. So there's a thermal symbol, there's an EM symbol, there's an explosive symbol. As I say, if I can find that little chart with the different types of damage, I'll put that up in the comments. Do we think this is going to be the big drop for the day? Fingers crossed. That is it. So return to drone bay. Let's go to the MTU and scoop up some loot. And we get within 5,000 meters, 5,000. Yes. Let's open the MTU. Oh, there we go. So between the salvage and the drops, Each one of these security missions are getting us about 1 million ISK, plus between 1 and 200,000 payoff. But we also get a little bit of loyalty and a little standing boost as well. So, as you can see, this is fairly straightforward. I imagine a lot of this ammunition we're just going to be. Oh, there we are. Some more drones. Excellent. I'm feeling a bit more. I think we talked about the concept of a shit fit or a hangar fit, which is where you fit your ship with whatever you've got lying around, and starting off when you don't really know what you're doing there is a lot to be said for just waiting and seeing what drops and fitting it to your ship. You get so rather than using the basic version of each module, you can sometimes get some slightly better modules dropping. Classic example being the compact EM shield partner, which I think we got as a drop in one of the really early missions. There's a decent specification small armor repairer, although I think I've got that one on already. Yeah, small ACM compact armor repairer. I might keep that for some of the other ships. So we have got in the MTU 500,000, excuse me, 250,000 ISK. And let's have a look and see what we're getting in the salvage department. Oh, still got the salvage from before. Okay. So the MTU is deployed. We've got 1.7 million ISK in our hold, plus another 250,000 ISK. So yeah, we're gonna, between salvage and loot, we're getting about 1 million for each mission, which is quite decent. I don't think we could have mined 1 million ISK worth in the time it took us to run that, so I think we'll call that an absolute win. Okay, so we've scooped the MTU, we've salvaged all the wreck, and we've got our drones on board. Let's go back and get some ISK. Oh, I haven't seen what the VIG is. That's the mission payout and the bonus rewards. Yeah, we've not had the bounty payments yet. I'm just thinking about that now. I don't know where I heard that term VIG. I think is it a mafia term? I'm just picking up my phone to quickly Google that. So, big math meaning. Vig, short for vigorish in mafia and underworld slang, refers to the excessive interest charged by a loan shark or the fee taken by a bookmaker on a bet. Also known as the juice or the cut. There you go. I knew I hadn't dreamt that term. I do have some strange dreams. Mission. So let me empty out our loot. Gonna keep the MTU. Whoa. Did I forget the MTU? Oh no, that's the item pack. Little panic there. Okay, let's put the warriors in the drone bay and the hobgoblin, the acolyte. Some hangar. So look at that, 21 million in loot. Oh, and a hobgoblin. Oh, let's go in there. Okay, that's better. Our drone bay is looking a little healthier now. We've got the MTU. Okay, let's do the next security mission as well. Since you found the acceleration gate in your last mission, I believe you are the most suited to take a look at what's at the other side. Surely on the other side. I've received reports of Galente convoys travelling to and from the area you discovered, but never realised there was a connection until your discovery. So, when I arrive at the warping point after using the acceleration gate, I want you to neutralise any hostiles you find. I'm especially keen on finding out what these convoys have been transporting. Okay. Super. Right, let's go. Let's minimize this. Undock. Yeah, I think the warrior drones are the fastest and the hobgoblins inflict the most damage. There's probably advantages to the others as well, but I don't know that off the top of my head. Now that I've said that out loud, I've always used the acolytes because I've always been in Amar space. But now I'm questioning myself as to whether or not they're the best ones. Have a look at some info on that. So the Amar, the acolytes give... Oh, there's an officer there. So the acolytes give EM damage. Oh, let's have the incoming transmission. Okay, I'm waiting for your incoming transmission. Oh, it's a Vexor as well. Gosh, there we are. That's that again is one of my favorite ships in the game. It's a tiny drone carrier, which suits my way of playing, I guess. Let's just orbit the officer. Okay, I'm waiting for incoming transmission. Okay. Wonder if there's going to be a decent drop with this bad boy. I think that daily mission must be the kill 25 rats. Destroy 25 non-capsuleers, 50 loyalty points for any corporation, and complete 3 jumps. Okay, so I'm heading to finishing 3 daily missions. So we don't have that running. Let me call the drones in because we're going to hop through the gate. Oh, nice. We can definitely use that. I think we need the pass card to get through the gate. I think that's the game law. Let's see, we'll get a little message flash up in a second, I think. Perhaps that incoming message was we were somehow detecting the officer's pass card. Or I might be reading way too much into that. Okay, so we've got a little bit of damage in our shields. Less than 20%. I think once we get in and drop our MTU and... Oh my goodness, that's a decent amount of targets. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to power away a little bit. And so I'm heading to a random direction that's mostly away from the rats. Oh, there's some sentry guns as well. Okay, we're going to take a little bit of damage in this one, but that's fine. We can handle it. Okay, there's a large group over there. The sentry guns tend to inflict the most damage. But nobody is webbing us, which is good. Let's take out the sentry guns. Some of the enemies are over 100 kilometers away, so we're doing okay. We can tank this much damage. And if not, we've got our armor repper here as well. Do you know what? I'm just going to drop the MTU and do a little saucy orbit. So that, I mean, this mission, for example, it gives you an idea. This will get you to complete the daily task of killing 25 non-capsuleers. So, as well as getting your loot and your salvage and your VIG, you will also hopefully complete your daily task as well, which is quite positive. Yeah, everything else is too far away. That's fine. I think I was just a little surprised to see so many rats. Yeah. Oh, we've got one more sentry gun to take down, and I think I can slightly relax. I think I could tank this all day. If these rats were heading towards me, so if they were yellow boxed and heading towards me, I think I would probably struggle to damage them, in which case I would just fly off in a random direction, and when they came into range, just kill them off one at a time. When I run the harder sites and the sites that need to be scanned down, I tend to do that with my main character. Okay, so I'm coming to scoop up the loot. Turn. Yeah, so I think you call this kiting. And again, now that I've said that out loud, I have doubts. So kiting means that you keep a distance away from them. It's a bit like sniping. Oh, hello. Okay, there was quite a bit of stuff came out there. Let's loot all of that. And let's salvage some wrecks. Excuse me. So as long as you stay out of range of the enemy's weapons, and drones are absolutely brilliant for this, you can relatively comfortably just sit and relax and stay out of range of all of their damage. Okay, so let's have a little look-see. We've got one group over here and we've got one group over here. I think if we target either one of those groups, we will not trigger the other group. So I think if we head to this group first of all and wait for them to yellow box us, I think as well, when we're done killing the rats, I might pop those two security outposts just to see if there's any loot that drops. Although I suspect it will be relatively low value. I've got my afterburner on. I think I'm going to swap the afterburner out for a micro warp drive, but not that one. That one's too big for this ship. Oh, do I have enough? That would be insane. Hang on a second. 20 CPU and 20 power grid. Yeah, I've not got enough to fit that one. Attributes. Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't have enough energy to fit that. Got a little excited for a second there. Okay, so we are heading towards this group here, which is the nearer group here. So we've got one group that's approximately 80 kilometers away, one group that's approximately 100 kilometers away. And you see that as I move my cursor over them, the corresponding ship is highlighted. So I'm going to wait until I'm relatively close to these guys, and then I'm going to do the trick of launching the MTU and just orbiting it. So none of them have yellow boxed me, which I'm starting to take personally. So I'm going to start blasting. Not moving towards me, I'm moving towards them. Gosh. So I'm going to need to be 43k from them before they can before I can target them. Actually, do you know what? Let's orbit the security outpost. 10k. Let's launch some drones. For Galente, I've got a random Stargate there as well. That's interesting. Could that be part of the mission? Okay, let's pop these guys. 4 targets at once. And I'm hitting the F key to target them with the drones. I love the fact that this character is so weak and yet can run these missions without too much drama. Oh, I haven't looked at our standings. Our standings are probably slowly trickling up because I've been running some mining missions along the way as well. Now they're yellow boxing me, and I'll probably start to take a bit of damage in a second. Apologies for the noise of the 3D printer. If I hold the mic up, you might hear it a little bit more. It might make hearing the random background music in the game a little harder to hear as well. Did anybody watch the latest Star Trek Starfleet Academy episode? Absolutely superb. I see a lot of my fellow middle-aged nerds are having an issue with a gay Klingon. What the heck? Of all the things going on in the world right now, if a gay Klingon is what is making you upset, I think you're wired incorrectly. But there you are. You know, we've got genocide. We've got our noble leaders being pedophiles. But hey, a dude in a costume in a skirt. Incredible. Okay. Oh, hello. Something. Oh. What are these bad boys? Oof, a couple of haulers have spawned. Hoping that we get to pop those as well. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the MTU there. And I'm just going to go and orbit the security outpost. And see if I can pop some of those. That probably means we're going to get some loot that's too big to haul. But hey, that's fine. I think that's what they call a first world problem. Oh, sorry, I forgot. Cheers, everyone. Happy weekend. So we're nearly in range. Yeah, if I had a micro warp drive, I could. That'll stop us from having to slow boat around the sites. So yeah, when I drop this stuff off, I might see if I've got one in the hangar. It'll need to be a 5 meganewton micro warp drive. Meganewton? Now that I've said that out loud, that doesn't sound quite right to me. I have a passing familiarity with physics. Okay, so slowly. Am I heading in the right... No, I'm not heading in the right direction. Oh, you absolute numpty. Okay, let us head towards these guys. Oh, I see what I've... Stupid man. Okay, let's orbit this Stargate at 10k. Apologies. I've made the slow boating even slower. Wonder what's going to drop from these haulers. I've always thought, if you look at the shape of this, I think it's an Iteron 4. Look at the shape of it. That seems to be the least efficient shape to have a hauler, long and thin. You'd have thought something like either a cube or a sphere would be the more efficient shape, but hey. Well, I suppose if you're transporting things that are long and thin, that makes sense. The 3D printer, you can probably hear it in the background making a noise a little bit like Kenneth Williams. Those of us that are older and into classic radio and classic old films, like the Carry On films, etc., will know who Kenneth Williams is. Kenneth Williams. I think it was his... Oh, gosh, we're nearly losing an acolyte there. He was famous for being a fairly flamboyant and camp character. But he was famous for making a selection of very odd noises. I'm surprised the Maulus isn't sensor dampening us. Oh, that acolyte's taking a bit of damage again. This is why I loaded up with the extra drones. Okay. Shields are regenerating. It's fine. So what happened is when I came in to attack the group that's near us here, the group that's further away has suddenly come into range, so I'm getting a little bit more damage inflicted on the drones. The enemy ships always used to aggro the player's ship rather than the drones, but there seems to have been a bit of a change in behavior of late, which I think is kind of cool. Makes everything a bit more tactical. Oh yeah, they are still slightly out of range. What loot is dropping from these bad boys? I'm quite excited to see now. It's been a long time since I've run the level 2 security missions. Did we decide that we were going to try and pop the security outposts? Maybe what we'll do is while we're salvaging these wrecks, we might send the drones out to try and pop them. Do we think that the next mission is going to make us hop through this Stargate? So, yeah, I have doubts with that as well. Okay, so let us orbit the next security outpost. That acolyte there has taken a little bit of battering. It looks like a lot of these wrecks have some loot in, but I suspect that it's mostly Federation Navy insignia, which, while worthwhile, isn't any use to us in terms of hitting our ship or reprocessing loot into minerals. But hey, again, I think that's what we call a first world problem. So that's it. Mission Galente frigates to the targets tab. I'm hitting the F key to launch the drones at the targets that I've highlighted. What sometimes happens is if you don't do that, the drones will split up and hit numerous different targets rather than all concentrating their efforts into one. And again, I'm not sure if it's the correct tactic, but I've always thought it's best to pick off the targets one at a time rather than spread the damage out. The thinking is that by picking the targets off one at a time, each target you take out of play, you are potentially getting less damage. Whereas if you're hitting, say, 5 targets at once with the drones, you potentially take 5 times as long to kill an individual enemy. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. See, they've split into 2 and picked out two targets there because I was talking rather than hitting the F button. That's interesting. So there is definitely different amounts of damage being inflicted here. I don't know if you can see in this area here. Let's have a look and see. So 103 thermal damage, but only 44 EM damage. So the thermal damage seems to be the most effective. I wonder if it's the hobgoblin. So we've got 3 hobgoblins and 2 acolytes. So let's have a look, see. I could just look up the information, but I'm kind of doing the sums in my head. So oh, my calculations took too long. Okay, so shall we, just out of principle, shall we pop those, what were they called? The security outpost. Let's see if any loot drops, although I think that one might be a bit far away. So I've just sent my drones to try and pop the security outpost. Okay, so the damage is going down quite quickly. Oh, here we go. Right, let's do this calculation. So So 3 are about 100. So that must be the hobgoblins. So the hobgoblins are doing more damage. Okay, that's interesting. Wow, that was a good hit. So I'm hoping that when this pops, there'll be a loot crate that gets sucked up by the... There's a point. Is it going to be out of range? No, no loot crate. Okay, so we know that that doesn't make any odds. I think the range of the mobile tractor unit is something like 80 kilometers. Let's have a little look, see. Oh no, 125k effective range. May not be deployed, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So even the stuff that's a bit far away will eventually be scooped up. Although if it looks like it's taking a while, I might just salvage these wrecks and then scoot over to those wrecks and redeploy the mobile tractor unit there. Okay, so the mobile tractor unit is 23 kilometers away. Let's lock up a couple of these. So when we get into range, we can zap them. Have we had our VIG payment yet? Transactions. So I've got 90k there. Okay. So it works out about 1.3 million per mission, including salvage and loot and various payments. So I guess you could make a living doing this. I like to mix it up a bit though. Okay, so MTU has scooped up 640,000 ISK. That is pretty decent. Couple more drones. Oh, I think, have I got enough? Yes, I've got enough now for a flight of 5 hobgoblins, so that's quite positive. And there's the warp drive, the micro warp drive I am going to put in the ship. Yeah, we've got enough power for that. Yep, fantastic. That's exactly what we want. The loot ferry is being kind to us today. Got a decent mining scanner for the mining ship. That's good. And some various loot, which I suspect I will be recycling for the minerals. Worthwhile there, 100,000, 20,000. Okay. Sort of worthwhile. Wow, look at this loot. I'll probably skip through this bit. So, yeah, this might be a little dry. I might fast forward through this. I'll see you in a couple of moments. Okay, so we are back. Let's have a quick calculation. Oh. Doing weird things. Okay, it's better. So if we take the MTU out of the calculation, we have had 2.2 million ISKs worth of loot and salvage. So 2.2, and that took about twice as long as the previous one. So again, it's, yeah, we are doing okay. And importantly, we got a micro warp. I think the YTA, is that the highest meta level one we can get? Let's just have a quick look. Empty. Show info. Show info. Creations. Yeah, the YT8 is the one that we want. I think if we can have that, I think that's going to get us up to about maybe 800 meters per second. I think we'll be pretty much unhittable. So shall we do one more security mission and leave the refuge for another day? It's probably let's hit one more security mission. So we have got a couple of hornets. Oh no, hang on. Let's put the couple of hobgoblins in first. A couple of hornets. Let's drop all of this in item hanger. So many of these things sound like a smutty euphemism, which kind of makes life interesting, I guess. Okay, let's have a quick refit. So we'll pull the afterburner. Doing it. Oh, I've got it listed in value, haven't I? Sort by type. Right. It's offending my aesthetic. Oh, I've got a couple of those. Oh no, that one. Hit active ship. So now, oh wow, 1300 meters per second. Yeah, we're going to be pretty much unstoppable there. Is there anything else that we should change while we're at it? I don't think there is. Got a compact EM shield which plugs that little hole there. I think we need stuff there. Oh, we've got space for another ghoul. 12 and 15. Oh, look at that. Fantastic. So we've got a Nosferatu, which takes cap from the enemy and puts it into our cap. And we've got a Newt, which just basically destroys the amount of cap that the enemy has. I'm only really keeping these in case anybody decides to drop on us and try and PvP us. But yeah, that is looking pretty good. Okay, so we have got a nice wedge loot there. 20 million of loot. All of that is from security missions. Let's run one more and then we'll call it a day. Oh, I've accepted. Oh no, I haven't completed. Okay, complete. Let's request one more mission. Mimnatar plot. Okay, it's true. Some slaves have rebelled and their actions have caused the deaths of several people. Oh no, imagine the poor slaves trying to rise up against their oppressors. They have stolen a ship and thus far they've managed to evade capture as well. This is an insult on top of injury and cannot be tolerated. I want you to track them down so that they can be returned to their owner. Oh gosh, okay. This is going to be all kinds of ethical torment. Okay, so let us go. Got the MTU. Oh yeah, I'll tell you what we need to do. Let us group our drones a bit. So let's call those... Let's call those Hob. Let's call the Acolytes Acco. Let's go Acco. The warriors. No, we've got 4 warriors. Okay. So let's call them War. And let's call the hornets. Let's call them Horn. Let's call them Horn. Just for the giggle factor. Okay. What that means is we're going to stick with the Hobbs. Full is our drone bay. Pretty full. Okay. We might have to make an executive decision to lose the Hornets and get 1 more Akko and 1 more warrior in here. Although I love having the word Horn there just because the inner 12-year-old kid in my head snickers at that kind of thing. Okay. Just going to glance over my shoulder at the printer. Yes, the 3D printer is doing fine. Okay, let us activate the gate. I'm hoping that that sound isn't too irritating to everyone. I'll try and get rid of it in post. No idea what that means, but it sounds like something that somebody in the media would say. Okay, so let's orbit the gate. Launch our hobgoblins and target the... Oh, hello. Oh. A long way away, but now that we've got our micro warp drive, we can power in at 1300 meters per second. If you run a certain number of missions, it's not quite an escalation, but you then get the occasional storyline mission, which improves your standings, which is what it's all about. Okay, so we have some bad boys to kill. There we are. Let's expand. And this ship makes me laugh so much. Oh, are they moving away from us? I think they might be. Let's approach them. Let's take a look at the village idiot. Every time. This just looks like a big cheesy grin. Apologies to anyone in a village with an idiot. And if you don't know who the village idiot is, it's probably you. Let's just drop the MTU. What I did there is I left click and held the MTU and just dragged it into space and it launched. You can also right click and choose launch for self. Shall we pop the private hangar? I think we should. Private hangar feels like it should have some loot in it, doesn't it? Let's launch our drones on that. Let's see how much damage that flicks. It was about 100. Oh, yeah, see, we're getting some decent hits there. Okay, hobgoblins might be my favourite option. Looks like this hangar's going to take quite a bit of damage, so we can salvage the wrecks while that's doing that. Those people of a certain age, like myself, who hears the sound of the 3D printer going, oh, 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 we'll get the Kenneth Williams reference from earlier on. So the micro warp drive, although it gets us to a much higher speed, it also uses all of our capacitor up. Perhaps if some of the rats are within range, I'll try using the Nosferatu on them. but we'll be able to regenerate that in no time. So that's quite good. After all this effort, I hope the private hangar drops something. Shall we have a look at it? Massive hangar and fitting structure. Okay, that tells us a lot. Probably that it's not going to drop anything. Okay. Even opened up the tractor unit. Wow, that's a whole lot of not a lot, isn't it? Man, that's going to take a while to get through that structure. Yeah. My undiagnosed ADHD is kicking in and telling me not to bother. Okay, let's activate the gate and head through and see what's what. I think we might run down that one storyline mission. Although I'm wondering what it is. Sometimes they want you to drop off some ore. And if that's the case, I don't have a mining ship nearby. Interesting. Perhaps some wine will help. Cheers, everyone. Come on, acceleration gate. Let's zoom in because I do like the graphic of the acceleration gate. That is fantastic. I might have to take a screenshot now. So how many bad guys are going to be in here, do we think? Fugitive slaves. Got an acceleration gate. Let's launch our hobgoblins again. There's a strange kind of poetry using Galente drones on a Galente ship. Oh no, we're Mimletar now, aren't we? Sorry. Apologies. Oh, I've got a slave. Yeah, it still doesn't sit well. Approach. Open cargo. That's literally just one slave. Gosh. Having said that, one slave is too many. Felt like it's too easy. Okay, let us dock up. So that is... See the info on that one? Show info. Oh, there we go. I imagine that acceleration gate is for the next mission. So what did we get there? We got a couple of 100,000 in loot and salvage. And that's including the slaves, which... Okay. You do wonder why in the age of spaceships we would need slaves carrying milk churns or whatever that was, but hey. Excuse me. Okay, complete mission. Okay, that wasn't especially profitable, that one, but I imagine the next couple are going to be more profitable. Let's have a quick look at what the storyline mission is. And I'm going to need to drop off a political envoy. Okay. Let's close that one. Let's accept that one. You need to warp to the mission location. I feel like I've missed something there. Acquire these goods. Okay. Okay, right. I need to warp to the mission location. At least it's in system. It appears the envoy is being pursued by Galente. Okay, so I am going to have to shoot some people. Attack the Caldari. Oh, the Caldari envoy has been attacked. We've got the envoy. Let's take care of this Egger scum and head home. Whatever. I'm gonna kill ya. This is Eve, etc., etc. Yeah, I don't really do the whole bravado thing very well. Let's orbit the mobile tractor unit because I'm a little bit of a hit there. Orbit at 15k and turn our EM shield. I suspect one of these ships is going to drop the ambassador as loot along with some tags. These ships are based on, let's have a quick look, the Catalyst, which from certain angles looks like an old World War II Lancaster bomber. But it's, if you're ever in Eve and one of those, or a number of those, warp to your position, you're probably going to get blown up. It's one of the most popular ganking ships because they can fit a lot of guns and cause a lot of damage in something which is relatively cheap. It's the old risk versus reward. If you've got a ship that is worth it, or if you're hauling more than about 10 million ISK, it's probably worth the ganker's while to kill you because they'll lose a 5 million ISK ship and make 5 million ISK profits. The calculation is much more complicated. In the description there'll be a link to Magaibo, who he's almost like a guru on ganking. Oh, there we go. We've got the political envoy. Let's just salvage these last couple of wrecks. Hobgoblins did good. So I think we'll lose the Hornets. Can't think what the Hornets have got the advantage in. Let's have a quick see. So the Hornets cause kinetic damage. Got a decent amount of armor. A decent amount of shield. Okay, so they can take a few hits. And they're reasonably fast, although I think the warriors are faster. I think the warriors are the fastest ones. Let's have a quick... show info. So the warriors cause explosive damage. And they've got some... okay, they've got some decent structure. Lowest shield, so they take a few hits. But they are the fastest. Okay. So the warriors are speed tank, I guess. I think that's all the loot we're going to get, so let's scoop that up. Scoop the MTU. Did we get much in the way of salvage? Almost nothing. We would have to call that a relatively small amount. So I have gathered the MTU and my drones and my loot, such as it is. And I'm going to zip back to Zetri Vest. Zetra. So if that Z was an M, it would be meter. So it's probably Zeta Vest, isn't it? Or if it was a C, it would be center. Yeah, I don't know. Let's go with Zeta Vest. Up. Mission. Okay. That feels a little underwhelming. But hey. Anyway, thank you very much indeed for tuning in. Hopefully you found that useful. Drop a comment, like and subscribe, all the usual Facebook stuff. Thumbs up is all good too. And speak soon. Fly safe.